and y. Okay, for step number 2, I'm going to always try to find that side first. You could find the apothem first, but I just like to have steps to go by. 2, find side using what? Are we going to find the sides? Trig function. Okay, so with my trig function, we've always talked about what's the first thing we like to do? We like to label our triangle. Okay, so what is 12 hypotenuse? What is x? Opposite. And what is y? Adjacent. What do you want to find first? We're going to find x first. Okay, so we've got 30, and we're going to use opposite and hypotenuse. So which trig function is that? So kotoa. So kotoa. Which one uses O and H? Sine. So sine of 30 equals opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. Oh, I hate it when my computer does this. Okay. So I'm going to say 12 sine 30 equals x. So when I pull out my handy dandy calculator, 12 sine 30. And I get 6. Is that the length of my side?
No.
Step 3 times by 2. So my side is 12. So side, I don't have enough room. Side equals 12. Step number 4. Side length of sides times number of sides is perimeter. Okay, so what's my perimeter? 12 times what? How many sides does a hexagon have? 6. So my perimeter is 72. Okay. Step number 5. Step number 5. Find apothem using trig. Okay. So we're going to find y this time. So we're using these two. What uses H and A? Cosine. Cosine of 30 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Multiply both sides by 12. So we say 12 cosine 30 gives us 10.39.
Could you not use tangent?
No, because if you messed up your side length, you're going to mess up your apothem. So you always go back to what numbers you had in the beginning.
Okay.
So
So
why
my-
do you have to go back to your cosine?
Excuse me?
Why do you have to go back to your cosine?
Because I had to find the length of my apothem. So that's 10.39. We didn't have to do that with the last one because we were given the apothem. Okay, so my area function.
Can you scroll back down just for a moment?
Yes, I can. I'm going to add step number 6. Plug into area function. Okay. So I've got everything, right? I've got my apothem. I've got my perimeter. So I just times those together by 1/2. Good? So 0.5 times 10.39 times 72. Our area equals 374.04 centimeters squared. Yes, Dana.
I thought your papa was good for
Why?
Yeah, so was it 10.9?
I get 10.39.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so here's my question. Would you like me to do one more, or do you want to try one on your own? Raise your hand if you want me to do one more. Raise your hand if you want to try one on your own. No one cares? All right. I would really like to do one more together. I think that would be the most beneficial. I'm going to do C. I'm going to do C. What?
This is if you want to find out radius. This is if you want to find
No, this is you have the radius. This is you have the apothem.
the
Yep. Okay. First of all, what am I given? What's the apothem? Right. And how many sides does it have? Because it's an octagon. It is from the center to the side is 8. What is step number 1? What do we got to find? We can make the right triangle, yeah. The central angle. Step number 1. You want me to write them down the side again?
Or are they the same as the?
Yeah, except we have one last step to do. When we have the apothem, we just have one last step.
Okay, never mind.
So step number 1, I'm just going to abbreviate central angle. And then we're going to divide that by 2. How do we find the central angle again?
360.
Divided by 8. And what is that? 45. But is that my answer? I'm going to divide that by 2. And what do I get? 22.7. So 0.5, thank you. That makes more sense. So I am going to draw my triangle nice and big so I can see what I'm doing. I'm given my apothem, so this is 8. I know that this is 20. This is 8. This is 22.5. I need to find, yes?
Why did we do 360?
Because it's like a circle, right? Circle's 360. And if we encompass that whole thing in the circle and then divided it up into 8 triangles, I want to know what the angle is for each of those triangles. Okay. All right. I want to know what the side is right here. Okay. What is 8 to 22.5? Adjacent. And what is x? So what am I going to use? Tan. Good. I'm going to use tan. So step number 2, trig to find side. Okay, so I'm going to go tan of 22.5 equals opposite, which is x, over adjacent, which is 8. Multiply both sides by 8. plug this into my handy dandy calculator. 8 tan 22.5. I get 3.31. And what do I have to do with that? Because that's only part of my side. Times by 2. And my side length is 6.63. And then I'm going to find my what? Perimeter. And how am I going to find that? I'm going to times it by what?
No, the one with the number of sides.
And how many sides is it?
8.
So I get 53.01 equals perimeter. Now I know what the apothem is, right? So I can skip straight to area.
Why are you 53.04?
Excuse me? I got 53.02. It just means you didn't round. Okay, so we know that the area function is 1/2 the apothem, which is what? What's the apothem? 8 times the perimeter, which is 53.02. Yes. We're not finding the perimeter of the triangle. We're finding the perimeter of the octagon. There's a lot of steps, I know. And there's a triangle and an octagon. So, Sam, you get that we used the trig functions, right, to find half of a side. So we found this piece right here. We times it by 2, and that was the sides. And then we times it by 8 to find the perimeter. We did do it like the first one. We didn't do it like the second one because the second one we didn't have the apothem. We only had the radius. Okay? All right. We're not going to do the last one.